Alright, people. It's time for another fan fiction reading. Even though I'm extremely sorry that I did not read for like 2 weeks. On the upside, I'm probably gonna finish this fiction tomorrow if I can, because today I only have the time for one chapter, and that's probably it. Dang, Vince, the cover you did for Pinky's Brew was beyond like cool, man. I wish I had your singing voice, but I just do not have that. Alright, so this is chapter 7, Intervening, by Landon. Okay, so here I go. Intervening. In one of the small parks that dotted Manhattan, Vinyl lay lazily in the grass, looking upward through the dark-rimmed glasses into the sky. Above her, Scoodloo was beginning to practice her flying once more. Without a focused drive, her progress had slowed, but she was comfortable with it. For her size, she was a very strong flyer. Although not as fast as she would like to be with her newly developed wings, they served to help her gain altitude greatly. She loved flying high. It made her feel that, for a small moment, that her time was above her problems. The past few days were life-changing, to say the least. It was good to feel freedom like this. Vinyl watched patiently as the filly danced about in the air. Being a party pony for a good portion of her previous few years meant days laying in the park while still conscious were rare at best. If it had been only a short time before it would be expected, the only reason she was here was that she hadn't found a better place to sleep off a less than sober encounter with another pony who had long since departed. She laughed at the thought now. It was easier to laugh anyways. Watching Scoodloo still managed to fill her with a wide mixture of joys. The Pegasus was her newest and only responsibility. Being no help as a flyer, she was content to walk down the path of her own memories, careful not to look too deeply in some holes. Soon, she heard a light thud to her side, shaking the DJ from her journey. Lifting lazily off from the ground, she sat up to see who landed near her. Standing beside her was a friend she hadn't seen in years. Before her party days took a turn for the worst, she, she, the two would, she, the two would regular. Okay, I don't understand. Before her party day, blah blah blah, the two would regularly spend evenings hopping from club to club as Vinyl put on various performances there. Being well-known ponies left the two closer. Having the ability to fall back on someone you could trust came in handy many times. Of course, as time would have it, they found themselves split. Vinyl's problems began to surface with the loss of a trusting hoof. The sight now left her with mixed feelings. For some reason, her week was just getting weirder and weirder. Motioning from her friend to seat in the cool grass, she continued her gaze skyward with a content smile as the Pegasus took a seat. Scoodloo took no notice of the pair, focused on her own thoughts. Rainbow Dash was still managing to break into her mind. She tried to focus on her own abilities, only to be ripped back to her days spent watching Dash fly. They both loved the sky dearly. Every Pegasus did in a way. But for Dash, it was something different. The sky was an extension of her. Scoodloo had seen it many times, and since had tried to imitate it with no avail. Truly, no pony could fly like her former idol. Tired, she floated to a single, lazy cloud hovering over the park, somehow missed by the weather team of the city. Taking a place safely on it, she looked to the ground below. The place she had been trapped for far too long. She could see Vinyl sitting below as she had been before, this time with a new pony at her side. Deciding not to interrupt them, she rolled back onto the soft cloud. As she rolled over, much to her surprise, she found a new guest at her side. A few feet away, eyeing her curiously, was a dark blue Pegasus stallion, his wings tucked under his side as two massive bulbs of dark feathers. Hey, someone's calling. That's not what I meant. You got that? ¿Quién es? Oh, okay. Okay, sorry about that. Someone called. Hey, sorry if this was your cloud. I didn't see you there, she started. He lifted a hoof and gave her a reassuring smile. Don't worry about it, Scoodloo, is it? Oh, I, I butchered that. Don't worry about it. Scoodloo, is it? Oh, I should probably do this in a good one. So, I'm just gonna go back to the hey, I'm sorry part. Hey, sorry if it was your cloud. I didn't see you there, she started. He lifted a hoof and gave her a reassuring smile. Don't worry about it. Scootaloo, is it? He asked, lowering his hoof. Yeah, how'd you know my name? She looked at him over, trying to remember if they had crossed paths before. He ignored the question outright. Still thinking about her? How did you... No, I mean, who? She stammered. I thought so. You know, it's not too late. He looked toward the forest at the edge of the city, barely visible from the cloud they'd shared. Scootaloo looked too, but saw nothing out of the ordinary. What are you talking about? You know, Scootaloo, she needs you too. With this, he lifted himself and spread his wings. They were double the size any the filly had seen before. With a single beat from his form, was carried upward, safely off the cloud. He turned and left, offering her no further explanation for his reason for their conversation. She watched him depart, wondering what exactly had just happened. As left the cloud, a small scrap of paper fell from place under his wing and drifted downward. Without thinking, Scootaloo lunged forward and caught it in her forehoofs, nearly throwing herself off the cloud. Looking over the old page she recognized as one of her own drawings. On the page was a poorly made picture of Rainbow Dash. Across it were discolored spots and some smears threatening to remove part of Dash's mane. Scootaloo wondered why the strange pony had possessed such a simple drawing. It wasn't special from the others, that's what you're wondering? I'd wonder why the heck he has it in his possession, not why he has this simple drawing. I'd be like, Creeper. Or like, something stupid, like, he had Goochaboochoy. Dragon Tolkien. Okay. It wasn't special from the other simple mouth-drawn image she had did during school one day. Turning the page over, she found it unchanged outside of the wearing of being tossed out. Grasping it in her mouth gently, she slid off the cloud and landed beside the white unicorn and her friend, and tucked the paper away in her wing. Getting a closer look, her attention snapped at the Pegasus mare. Spitfire herself was sitting in the grass bee, having a conversation with the DJ. Noticing the filly approaching, they turned to face her, ending their conversation. Hey, kiddo, you must be Scootaloo. Man, you're a young one. Flying so quickly? I'm impressed. Scootaloo's face lit up. A Wonderbolt is impressed with me? I could just imagine that little, like, rage face, like, that one where it's all happy. It's like, oh, like little angel music popping out. She nearly screamed in her own head, realizing she hadn't responded to the famous flyer. She caught herself. Really? You mean it? Of course I do. You're quite the special one, I hear. Equestria's next young flyer, maybe? That's me, she exclaimed, hopping slightly in the air at the praise. Glad to hear it. I can't wait to see it. She grinned warmly at the filly. Vinyl had her normal mad-mare smile plastered across her face. Although slightly worn-looking, Scootaloo didn't notice. Well, it was good to see you, V. I think I should get going. What? Yeah, right. Not getting away so easy this time, oh feathered one. Oh God. Oh feathered one. She flashed her grin at the Pegasus and stood. I should stop making these silly voices. I'm starving. Let's eat. She began walking away from the remaining two Pegasus, who quickly moved to catch up. Spitfire took pace just behind Scootaloo and looked the filly over. Her wings were much larger than most at her young age. Her flight feathers nearly fully developed already. It was an impressive sight. But what caught her eye amongst the orange coat and feathers was the section of white poking from the back of the Willie's fins. Wow. The Willie's fins. Did I really say that? Hate being dyslexic. Of the filly's wings, a partially visible head poking out. Saying nothing, she moved on, wondering how the filly had gotten a hold of it so soon. You know what? I'm gonna read the next chapter, if I can. I'm going to read chapter 8. Because I do not wish it's a bad gateway. I can't. I'm sorry. Bye.